Well, hello. Welcome in, everyone. It's Wednesday night at a new time, and you're joined by the One Eye Scout and my main man sidekick, Mr. Philip Townsend.
What's up?
And oh man, we was talking off air, man. We're locked in for the fans who live and breathe high school basketball. But Phil, we got some major news to break down. Just saw Bryson Bell be a sophomore at Clemens High School just received an offer from Incarnate Word.
What? Incarnate Word stepping in?
Yes, sir, man. And we know that doesn't happen very often. I think Josiah Jones had an offer at one point, and I think Mayson Thomas at one point. It may have been a different coaching staff, but yeah. But hey, so there's a difference between getting the offer, and then getting the commitment, right?
Exactly.
So today, our guy Carson Cox out of New Braunfels, 6'6", hell of a player. He went ahead and he committed to Air Force, and as we know,
who else?
Mason Air Force, and you know what? That's exactly where our guy Mayson Thomas went.
Yes, sir. That's our guy.
Hey, that's 2 6'6" guys that'll get after it, man. So that's shaping up to be a pretty good recruiting class. But we've been pushing on social media, the people that have already committed, so let's run through that list right quick. We got Talon Todd to Austin Peay, Donny Criss going to UTEP. Those guys both at Brennan High School. Then we have Logan Gonzalez.
Yes. Cool.
Kingsville. Yeah, great shooter. And Jamail Garland going to Missouri S&T. Both of these guys are out of Steele.
Yeah.
And they will be playing in the Noble, just like the guys out of Brennan will be playing in the Noble. We got Tre Clark from Wagner going to UT Arlington, and Amare Guerra headed off to Merrimack.
Antonio's own.
But before we go any further, let's go ahead and talk about the ladies.
Yes, sir.
Because we got Delaney Arredondo going to McNeese. She's out of Judson. Yasmin Schmidt from Cornerstone headed out to Grand Canyon University. And the Doghouse own Jordan Pete headed to Lamar.
Yeah.
But don't you forget, you might have missed it, Miss Bella Flemings from Brennan was at Baylor today.
What?
Yep. So she's on a visit down there.
What?
And that family produces very good basketball players and track athletes.
Wow.
So, yeah, but man, I hope people don't think we're just going to sit on the laurels of San Antonio, because we're looking to break down some of this weekend's Gasso Week here in San Antonio. It's going to be some ranked players, state contenders rolling into town on September 20th out of Mission Concepcion. And if you like basketball, that's the place to be, because you have a buffet. Games from 8 a.m. to at least 9 p.m. back to back. I'm going to bring my popcorn, my pillow to sit on, so that I can enjoy the day. And there will be some coaches in the program and coaching building programs. They're looking at the talent. I know I talked with Coach Cook, St. Edwards, so we'll see each other this weekend. And there's truth to that. And the fact is, Phil, it ain't for everybody.
Oh, look, it's not for everybody. But again, like you said, if you're a fan of good basketball, come on out. And Kev, could you say that name one more time for me?
The
Mission
Concepcion on Theo Street.
On
Just
Theo
type in
Street.
Theo Street.
Look, Kev, this is running all up and down 35. The teams that are going to be coming into San Antonio, as well as San Antonio's own team, this is going to be an awesome event for people to show up at.
Oh man, you think about we're gonna get down into it, but you got Frisco Memorial coming down 35. You got run through Killeen, hopping on 35. You got Waco Midway, hopping on 35. New Braunfels is going to be there. San Marcos is going to be there. So man, it's going to be a fun day.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, and we'll jump right into it, Phil. You know, September 20th is such a big date for San Antonio basketball. That's a time, man, when all the eyes from those different programs are going to be down here. Um, we're going to have college coaches there, and really a time for some of these players that have really worked hard this year. That one name that comes to mind is Zachary De Leon over at Harlan. Uh, we haven't been together with him yet, but man,
Mm.
that's one of the hardest working son of a guns over there at Harlan. He'll play the point, but we'll see him Saturday. You know, but it's just excited, man. You know,
It's gonna be some big time players here though too.
oh, I know, man. We're gonna hold on to those names, but it's gonna be, man. I'm excited because it's not just seniors, man. We got some sophomores, some big time sophomores gonna be in town. Our very own junior class, very strong, and we got some names that have gotten commitments, but guys that are shooting up people's charts and people are starting to recognize as the season's coming close. Our very own Jaden Jones out there at Clark. We've been on him for a minute. We started watching him in last year, and he's just continued out there. Uh, he trains with Tim Springer. Used to train with Randy Clark when he was over at Cornerstone. But young man, he's putting in work. But I was
Okay.
going to ask you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you what excites you most because you've been on like cloud nine since we started talking.
Well,
Uh,
no, I'm looking forward to be. Look, we've been on this thing of where you really the One Eye Scout show has really been pushing and pumping San Antonio basketball, and we've seen some good players go through here, and I am really excited to see the rest of the state coming into San
mm,
Antonio, and
yeah.
they're going against San Antonio teams. That's what I'm looking at because I'm looking at the measure. Who's going to step up, and
Mm-hmm,
who's the light going to be a little bit too bright for? So
mm-hmm,
so that's going to be my big and most exciting thing about this whole thing because look, when that real competition hits, especially if you think, look, uh, if you think you that dog and there's another dog coming
mm-hmm,
to town,
mm-hmm.
I can't wait to see it because these guys know they've heard of other players and
Yeah.
they're going to want to see and do what they do. I just hope that there's enough since it's going to be teams going against teams that there's going to be nobody gets into that one-on-one play and lose
Mm-hmm.
the structure of the game for the team. Uh, you know,
Yeah. When you look at that list and we've shared between us, you know, a lot of those programs are established programs. And I don't believe that's going to be too much of an issue.
yeah,
You know, it's going to be interesting, man, because you're going to have Isaiah Ward at Brennan, and I'm jumping ahead and I don't mean to, but you're going to have Isaiah Ward versus Xander from
yeah.
Frisco Memorial. That's going to be a big matchup. And then later in the day, you're going to have Xander against Harlan. And they've got height around there. Go ahead,
Yeah,
man.
no, but what I really like is your scouting that you've done on some of these guys, and you know what you know how you have them listed as their strong points and what can get into it. Like you're talking about Xander, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big, big guy. 6'8" center out of Frisco Memorial. You got him in strong hands, pick and roll finisher, a paint presence. Uh, I hope that goes with my bruising establishing that bruising point. Uh, and coaches will watch his ability to anchor inside. So, you know, look how rich and detailed that is. I could go on and give more. So I'm just saying, this isn't about you saying, "Man, he's a good player. I really like what I saw him do." No, it's
Yeah.
a breakdown of what it, what his attributes are, and I really like that. But if I could just do one more to give our listeners just another chance to see your evaluation. Let's go with Joshua Basket, right? Out of Austin Boyd. Quick first step, rim pressure. I love to see somebody putting that pressure on at the rim and with his finishing ability. A guard who can raise the eyebrow Saturday. I'll be looking forward to seeing him. But yeah, so I'm just saying, Kev, I love the way you go in and break this down and really get your strong reports on these players.
Yeah, it's a hobby. It's a passion. Um, we have a good time with it. And while we're talking about big men, a guy at the top of that list, Tre Clark.
Yeah,
Man, Tre had an amazing summer. You know, I saw him like the first a couple weeks back, man, and I was just amazed at his development. Around the rim, catching the ball. Now he actually left the state and went to play uh, with the Legends EYBL. And originally, man, I didn't think that was a great move for him.
yeah,
I thought it was be a little bit too much, but man, he really proved me wrong. You know, so
yeah. And Kev, if I could just give your write up on him.
mhm.
And of course, right in my backyard, I like that. Uh,
Yeah,
Transition play, defensive switching, motor. And that motor means he's got a good motor for you to be mentioning motor. Could emerge as a matchup nightmare for somebody. And big 6'8" power
hmm
forward, yeah. Um, I'm gonna love it because I want to see what the big men do. But what I really want to see is some of that guard play, and I want to see when somebody
hmm
gets beat, just how they get back up on that shoulder defensively and get around in there and do that thing.
you know,
We'll
it,
see.
it, it's it's great that you bring up the guards right now because we can go ahead and skip down a little bit. But I mean, you talking about let's see, uh, at the point guard play, you talking about Jamail Garland,
Yeah,
you talking about Talon Todd, you talking about Amare,
right.
you talking about Red over at Judson,
Your
you
guy.
talking, yeah, but you talking about the young man Ian Joshua over at Johnson High School, another one in your backyard.
In my backyard.
And I've seen Ian put in a lot of work, man. I saw a before and after picture of him from the weight room.
Yeah,
He's put in some good things, and I'm excited to see the matchups of the point guards. People forget this is the deepest point guard class that we've had in the city, and people are still getting turned on. You
yeah,
know, Damian over at Wagner got an opportunity to play at Shriner. Uh, Jaden Jones opportunity to play point guard at Clark, opportunity to play at Trinity University here in town. There's more coming, just because I know the backstory of it all, the conversations that are going on, But I tell you what, man, we talking about Tre Clark being 6'8", Xander being 6'8", Isaiah Ward 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
You're gonna have Mayson Thomas there. You're gonna have Carson Cox there, 6'6".
I'm looking for the Alamo Mules to step in there.
Man, hey, that's another one that had a pretty good summer.
Yeah.
Man, we followed Alex Elliott, and man, he's put in a lot of work lately. Towards the end of the summer, he had some things and got right, and man, he's been on a tear. So there's a lot of good basketball, in the city, man.
Oh yeah,
and I'm excited for it. We've had our run of people, of naysayers, and it's not like people thought it was. But I just want to tell you, man. Talking about when guys commit, and a commitment of an impact player, and the confidence that it gives them coming into an event like this. You sit back and think, like, when you get that first offer, you know that you're going to have a chance to play. When you make that commitment, now you know that somebody thinks that you're in the top 6% of the high school basketball players in the country. And so that just puts you there. And then now you're coming to a spot where there's going to be 7, 8, 9, 10 Division I players in one building. So now you really got to put on and play your role and do your thing. But coming off the heels of that comment, I want to share something that it's real life, but I got a text from one of my guys today talking about, hey, do you know the coaches at Texas State? And I was yeah, pretty good friends with several of them, contacts with them. Oh, for real? You think you can get me a chance there? I said, man, you think you can get your game high enough to get there?
Right.
Those opportunities aren't just given. And we was talking with Warren. He said, hey, I told somebody, I've talked to them. I've talked to several Southland schools, and he's like, what did they say? I said, they all say your ass need to be in JUCO getting right.
And there's nothing wrong with JUCO.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Oh yeah.
JUCO, prep, wherever route you go, man. So it's just an eye opener, man, because I was talking to someone today, and I made the analogy. You can say you love basketball, right? Everybody at some point loves basketball, in my opinion. But do you love the discipline of getting to class on time every time? Do you love the discipline of studying? Do you love the discipline of conditioning? Do you love the discipline of weightlifting? Do you love the discipline of taking care of your body? Those 5 things before you ever talk about, I love basketball. So we were just, me and a colleague were talking about that today.
Yeah.
But
Kev, one of the biggest misnomers I look at and I think about San Antonio basketball and the bad rap as far as players, San Antonio not having players. So often people look at teams. Say, for instance, you've got teams coming in from Killeen, Frisco, or whatever. Okay, say that team comes in and dominates San Antonio team, right? And people are like, see, I told you San Antonio didn't have play. But San Antonio had that impact player that busted them for 35 and 11. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Yeah.
and that's what gets lost in the sauce so often with teams is people don't look at that, you know, that impact player, or that player, that
Mm-hmm.
individual on the team. They take that whole team, not understanding that individual is going to move on away from that
Mm-hmm.
team at some point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just hate that rap that San Antonio gets that they don't have good players.
Oh, it's a changing. It's a changing. When you start to look, man, like you got at Brennan, you're gonna
That's
have
Brennan. That's Brennan.
5 collegiate players in 2 years. You know, you're gonna have you had Kingston and Cam. Now you're gonna have
Yeah.
uh, Talon, Donny, and Zeke. And then, man, you know, we've talked about Talon's brother Time, right? And Time's ferocious on defense, but Time's also kicking butt as a cornerback. You know, he ended the game against my Smithson Valley Rangers with with an interception. You know, so that I mean, and then you got other guys, and the same as at Harlan. Like we're talking about Harlan, you know, Harlan's not even going to be the best version of themselves this year because you're gonna have Cy and Amani as juniors. You know, uh, and then but check this out, you got top 3 or 4 player in the state in the freshman class, London Jackson, going enrolling there. And then you've got a young man no one knows about really, Dwayne Fangung from he's a freshman. And man, just a humble young man, 6'6", 6'7", raw. But man, he can jump. Man, he can block shots. Man, he can rebound. And he's gonna be, I think, one of the top if he works hard, right? But talent wise, body wise, he's got the chance to be something special uh, along that Latrell Hoover Big 12 kind of opportunity,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Oh, you know what? We hadn't talked about tonight was Delano that went out to prep school. Big 6'10", 6'11" young man. He's coming back to Brennan, and he should be in a lineup, which is interesting because now everybody kind of moves to their natural position. Delano played it inside. Zeke will play the 4. Donnie's going to play the 2-3. Talon's going to be point, and you got Ton who will play there some, and then you got Mr. Martin who's playing football for Brennan. That'll be that other off guard.
Yeah.
Man, they're gonna be tough, bro. They're gonna be
I'll be
tough.
back saying they are the team.
Yeah, Harlan's coming. Uh,
Well, I'll say this: nobody can ever say that you aren't for Harlan.
hey man, you better be careful. But no, I just man, they got talent over there. And then John Jay, they're gonna have some sauce for some people. But Phil, we talked about a few names. Um, is there a name in that group of 4 or 5 that breakout players that you're most excited to see?
Not in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really just wanting to see everybody in
Yeah.
play. I see because
Mm-hmm.
I want to see. We like you say, you have some of the named players, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I don't know. It's basketball, and
Yeah.
there's just always somebody coming in and stealing some light somewhere.
Yes. Yes.
But
And,
I,
and
yeah, no, go ahead. I'm just waiting to see some good defense myself. That's what I'm going to see.
no, you're right, man. There are, there's like we talked about, Taft's going to be there. And some of those, uh, Axel Tang, uh, one that comes to mind. Uh, my mind went blank on the young guard. I'm sorry, Aiden. Um, but they're going to be there and they're going to grab some spotlight. They played really well this summer. Um, and then at Clark, you Shea McCarty transferred in from TMI, big 6'5", long, well built young man. Um, so yeah, man, there's gonna be uh, some things to watch. We're not gonna drown on those, but we're gonna go ahead. And I'm gonna say this: the reason that this weekend, in my opinion, becomes a can't miss for diehard hoop fans, I think it's just what you said. You're going to get to see close to 30 teams, 35 teams. Um,
At
that's
least.
that's just going to be a great event to watch, you know. And then, you know, talking about this, man, Gasser did a really good job on getting some of these matchups. You know, when you have Brennan and Harlan going against a Frisco Memorial,
Yeah.
that I liked. Waco Midway coming in, they got a really tough guy, Gus Mills. Man, we haven't even talked about. Brennan's gonna pull Westlake. Westlake has Bo Ogden, one of the top players.
Right.
You know, um, Wagner gets Stony Point. Stony Point's always tough. They're always in the final to go to the final four. Um, Johnson and Judson. That's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to that one. So there's a little bit for everyone. And you know what's going to be an interesting matchup, man? Steel is going to have New Braunfels. Interesting because they're right down the road from each other. Uh, and play uh, contrasting styles, you would think. But they're both very defensive oriented, but have offensive players that can go off at any time. And so that's going to be fun.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You know I am happy now. I'm looking and I see OU Baller 1991. When you can say OU to you, you got to have something good working for you. Uh, he's tapped in from H Town.
Yeah,
All
I'm actually we set it up, man. Next weekend we're at the next gen event. We're gonna meet up and chop it up face to face, and I will make sure I get a picture with the man. You know,
Boomer Sooner.
yeah, whatever. I mean, no one can handle LSU right now, but man, we got to figure. We're getting on football, bro. I don't do football,
Yeah.
but we're excited. You know, it's gonna, in my mind, um, who is gonna open the most eyes Saturday.
Yeah.
If you're around the city, um, my answer is going to be I think Red gets the highlight here. I've watched him; he's back in the doghouse on a regular basis. Um, I've seen him. I've seen video. I watched a few of his games, and he's locked in. Last year it was his first year varsity 6A, but now he's my pick for to make the biggest noise.
Yeah.
So, but that's a wrap for us tonight. I appreciate everyone being on. Big shout out to every athlete that's chasing a dream, every coach grinding in the trenches, and every fan that rides with us week after week. Remember, the platform is built to make sure the unseen gets seen, and we're not slowing down. Follow us at Kevin One Eye and the network at Ton of Truth, and stay locked in. We'll be back next week, same time, same energy. Until then, keep working, keep believing, and never forget, it ain't for everybody.
It ain't